So Amanda's got more than a decade of experience in creating powerful marketing solutions with an infectious energy that motivates business growth and success. In recent years, she has worked on tailored marketing solutions for our most successful builders. She's helped shape their branding, drives their online presence to grow top-line revenue as well as customer engagement, really engaging in customers. Amanda's strengths lie in the development of marketing and digital strategies. The online stuff with a focus on developing a highly organised and collaborative approach. She's passionate about each client and thrives on watching teams grow and succeed. And the thing I like, man, I know what's coming. It's going to be killer information, and it's not only relevant, but like some advertisers or marketing companies out there, they'll do stuff, and then you'll say, well, how many inquiries is this going to generate? And they go, oh, well, yeah, it depends. We don't know. Amanda does great marketing, test and measure, ROI, all that sort of thing. So, folks, Amanda.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here. So I'm Amanda from Sea Salt Marketing, and I thought today I would stick with the theme of the event. I'm going to talk about some of the future marketing trends that I think are going to be affecting your industry, and also some of the great results that we're already seeing with some of the builders in this network that are doing some of these things already. I'm going to be going through what I see the top 4 marketing trends that I see affecting your industry over the next kind of 12 to 18 months. And I guess the good news is that there are builders in this room that are already doing some of these things. So what we're going to be looking at is education-based marketing and how important that is for your business. Also the role of social media and probably how that's changing. Also the power of influencers. So content is becoming a massive, powerful tool within marketing. So how do we leverage influencers to push our content out there? And the 4th one is the rise of SEO. So one of the most important functions of your marketing really should be to build your knowledge and credibility within your industry. So I believe the future marketing trend kind of around this space is the way that we communicate our marketing messages. So I think we need to probably move from that really salesy, selling-based marketing messages into more education-based marketing messages. And I think the reason that we do that is because people don't want to do business with people they don't trust. So it's really important to build trust and credibility so consumers want to do business with you. And I guess education-based marketing is a really powerful strategy that enables you to do that. And the reason it does that, it establishes trust and credibility. It positions you as a thought leader within your industry. It develops a relationship with your potential customers really early in the sales process. So when they're just gathering information, that they're just thinking, I want to build a home. So you want to be in there at that really early stages of information discovery. It generates high customer engagement because you're not selling to them, you're just offering them free information. And I'm going to show you a really good example of how Rhoda have done this in the last 6 months. It also helps solve customer problems. So I'm sure you've got a whole lot of FAQs that you probably get the same questions asked early on in the sales process. So turn that into some really engaging content. Push that out, which not only engages your customer, it probably also saves you a whole lot of time repeating yourself and telling them the same thing over and over. So the ways that we can deliver educational-based marketing. The first one is something most of you are probably already doing, and that is the e-brochure, or like that downloadable document. So giving away your top 5 tips on how to why you should knock down and rebuild, or 9 reasons why you should undertake a multi-unit development. So in exchange for this type of information, you can ask for someone's email address, they sign up to your database, and you can have ongoing communication with them. The second is video, and I'll talk about this quite a bit today. Felicity from Glue Content has a whole presentation on it later, but video is basically the best way to deliver education-based marketing because it's really engaging. Sometimes this stuff can be dry, so you don't want to give people whole slabs of text to read through. So putting it in a video format makes it more of a marketing selling tool for you. The third is blog posts. So people love free information. A lot of you probably don't realise how valuable some of the information that you already know is. And putting that into a form of a blog post is not only great for educational marketing, it's really good for your SEO as well. And I'll talk about SEO a bit later on. Then email automation. So once people sign up to your e-brochure, what are those next follow-up emails that you're sending to them? It's a really good idea to move away from that salesy-based focus, wear this, contact us today. Offer them free information. Hey, have you seen our latest blog post on this? And then by the fourth or fifth one, maybe hit them up with a, hey, you ready to build yet? Get in contact with us. It's a bit of a softer approach to warming your sales leads up through the process. And the last one is an event. So this is a really great way to educate your audience by offering something like a free information night. So Mark from Integrity New Home South Coast has recently done this, which I think he's doing a presentation on later. But the beauty of an event is that you've got a completely captured audience with the ability to build a personal relationship with them just by providing knowledge and education about the building industry. So they're probably at that early stage of wanting to build a home, and you're already in their mindset as a credible, knowledgeable leader within that industry, and they're more likely to come to you when they're ready to build. So a few tips on how to make educational marketing effective. The first one is using a title that has clickbait to it. And this means you want people to click on your article and actually read it. So often something like asking a question or number-based tips usually get a really high click-through. So the top 5 questions to ask your builder, something like that. Make sure that whatever information you provide is factual. So it's okay to quote other sources in your blog posts, but whatever information you're sharing, once it's out in the World Wide Web, it's open for discussion, and if what you're saying is incorrect, you'll very quickly be brought down and it can turn into a very negative thing for your brand. So whatever you're doing, make sure you do the proper research around it and provide factual information. You can also make it topical, so you can tie it in with a recent news event, and that's more likely to then be shared and go viral amongst influencers, or if you've had a change in your industry that you want people to know about, like a regulatory change, do a blog post on it. So then when someone asks you on the phone, you can say, hey, yep, read the blog post, it's all in there. Make it engaging. So again, video. It's a really great way to provide educational information that people want to listen to. It also allows you to showcase your personality. So it allows potential customers to get to know who you are before they even pick up the phone. So finally, how do we actually push this out from a marketing perspective? First of all, everything should be housed on your website. So whether it's on a blog page or a media page, these pieces of content are really good, and they're really good for your SEO. At the end of the day, education-based marketing is a piece of content, so we always want to push that out via social media. So sharing it on Facebook, sharing it on LinkedIn, putting the link in your bio in your Instagram. Push it on LinkedIn to your professional network, and also on Google+. Another one is online influencers. So at Sea Salt, we've got access to a number of content sharing platforms. So there are thousands of influencers out there that write their own blogs. They've got a huge following of your exact target market. So they are constantly on the search for information that they can provide to their followers. So if we can give them something that's done, dusted, factual, well presented, really well structured, they're going to share that, and I'm going to show you a few examples of how we've done that with a few of the builders as well. Then if you are hosting an event, be sure to provide takeaway material that is subtly branded, because you want them to remember that they got that information from you in the first place. So to bring this to life, I'm just going to show you 2 examples. The first example is what we've done with Ask Rhoda. So we worked with Glue Content we wanted to build the Rhoda Boys kind of industry credibility and knowledge and knock down some of those frequently asked questions that they get asked all the time by new clients. So Glue came up with this amazing concept around hashtag Ask Rhoda. We pushed this Ask Rhoda campaign out through Facebook. It was a really social media driven campaign. It went for 4 weeks and we got 21,500 views of these videos to our direct target market. And from a marketing perspective, and Kurt touched on it before, I'm really into reporting and understanding if we make a marketing investment, how is that actually returning from a website traffic point of view, inquiry point of view. So if we're investing into social media, I want to see a whole lot more traffic coming from that platform to our website and those people converting. So from this campaign, we got 158% uplift in the last 4 weeks from social media traffic to the website. We also had the highest inquiry that we've had ever in the month that we ran this. Now, I'm not saying that's completely driven by the campaign, but it's certainly indicative of the type of marketing activity finally getting people over the line to make that inquiry. Another thing that we always track is what type of content our consumers are engaging with, and so we track that through the newsletter. So we have I test a whole lot of stuff through the newsletter, and when we added these Ask Rhoda videos, they got a huge amount of click-through. They were very, very engaging, so that's now become a constant part of our newsletter format. So what this graph shows is the website traffic to the Rhoda website over the last 4 months. So probably one of the highest we've ever had. And that's broken up. The colours there break up with how people actually come to our website. So in green there is organic search, which is from SEO. Yellow is your social media. So you can see the growth of that yellow bar has just been significant after doing the campaign. And the third there, referrals, is in red, and so that's the blogs. So that's a really, really significant improvement. We had 271%, and then 639 views of our blogs. So we had between 300 and 550 shares from those online influencers that I was talking about. And the best performing blog post was, what's the difference between a building and a planning permit? Now, to you guys, it probably seems really, really easy. But for someone who's just building a house for the first time, that's really valuable information for them. And so if they're not finding it out from you, they're going to find it out from somebody else anyway. And the blog was the highest clicked on content in the newsletter. So we know that our followers are hungry for this type of information. So this has now become a regular part of our marketing plan. So another great example is the event that Integrity New Homes held. It was a free information session night. They collaborated with another local builder who I believe is here as well, Niche Building Solutions. And we basically pushed this out through the newsletter. We said we're holding a free information night. We pushed it out through Facebook. I think we boosted it with about $100 or something. The first one, there was 9 sign-ups. It was a bit of a test run through, went really well. The second one, they changed it a little bit. We pushed it out to the same group of people. We showed some verbatim from the night that people found it really valuable, and there was 23 sign-ups for that second one. So that gives Mark a really good chance to have one-on-one relationship building. He was able to give out educational hands-out, which reference the presentation that he gave. I now get photos and videos from the night that I can now push out from a social media perspective. And just chatting to Mark yesterday, he's already had one customer that came to the information night and has come in and said, I've got plans, I want you to be my builder. So just by offering free information, it's turned into a conversion. So social media marketing. You can't really have a marketing presentation without talking social media, and things have changed, and Facebook is certainly leading the way in terms of how social media is looking over the next 5 to 10 years. So the average person globally now spends 50 minutes a day on Facebook. In Australia, 79% of us are on social media and 94% are on Facebook. So that's almost everybody. This is Facebook's 10-year roadmap. So their goal, they just are continually creating new products and revenue streams. Most of what I see up there is around video, messaging and virtual reality. Facebook is still really important part of your marketing strategy. They're constantly innovating, and we really need to understand how our audience lives and breathes in Facebook, and then tailor our marketing strategy in order to target them. But apart from Facebook, there are some other changes that I see kind of coming through from a social media point of view. The first one is the growth of other social media channels outside Facebook. Content sophistication, which I've kind of touched on already, but text and images just aren't cutting it anymore. You've really got to move into video and blogs. I mean, if you're not doing video yet, you really need to be starting to think about that. Social ads are the way forward. So Facebook, you've really got to pay to be seen on Facebook now, and having an investment behind social media should be a part of any marketing plan. And just from yesterday, I'm going to touch quickly on automation as well. So although Facebook is definitely dominant, it owns Instagram. And so this is a social media platform that's seeing huge growth. It's very relevant for your industry because it's quite visual. Beyond Facebook, there is LinkedIn and YouTube. So don't discount these channels. Work out where they fit into your strategy and how customers are using them. So LinkedIn, for example, is a great platform to share your blog posts because it's educational based, and that's what people are looking for on that type of social media platform. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So you can't just post something to Facebook and auto-post it to every other social media channel. People can completely see through that, and you need to be able to understand what tone of voice to use to each of your audiences on different social media platforms. So if you're on LinkedIn, you need to be really professional, whereas on Facebook, you can share a blooper reel and be a little bit more casual about it, whereas that's not really appropriate for the LinkedIn platform. And utilising hashtags. So hashtags is a great way to grow your audience. Facebook is saturated. Facebook, you don't really use hashtags on there. It's hard to get any organic reach really on Facebook. But on Instagram, you've still got time. So obviously Facebook owns Instagram, so that's quickly going to become a completely revenue-making stream. So whilst you can still get really good organic reach through Instagram by using the right hashtags. So content sophistication. Instagram was one of the first totally visually focused social networks, but quickly other social networks are moving away from text and images into things like video. So you've really got to go beyond images to blogs, videos, and showcase your team and the face behind your brand. So that's a really good way to improve your content sophistication and the things that you're sharing on social media. So what this does, it enables you to build a relationship with your audience. It allows them to get to know you before they even pick up the phone. So social media is quickly becoming the largest media avenue. So it's no surprise that they're all trying to make money out of it. So it's pretty much impossible to get organic reach on Facebook, maybe with a video, but apart from that, you've really got to pay for it. So investment into Facebook campaigns needs to be part of any digital marketing strategy, and you've got to match it with the right content strategy and long-term marketing plan, and that's how you'll get the most effective use of your marketing dollars. So automation. So I just added this in from yesterday. So it's very manual, constantly doing all your social media posts on a daily basis, very time consuming. So Facebook does have, you can schedule in posts. If you're only on Facebook, you can go into settings, scheduled posts, and load in a whole lot of content for the month. So then you don't have to be thinking about it every day when am I going to post on Facebook. Taking one step further, if you are using multiple social media channels, Hootsuite is a really good tool to use. It links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr and Google+. So you can literally load in a month's worth of content. You don't have to think about it. You can sit there, make sure your strategy's right, make sure you've got a good cross-section of content that you're sharing, make sure all your hashtags are in there, and then it will just automatically push out itself. And another one is around email. So MailChimp, we're using this for Rhoda. So this is a completely free email management system. So we use this, we capture our leads into MailChimp and we set up the autoresponders through that. So they get the e-brochure, they get the 5 follow-up emails, and it's all completely automated. So coming into some case studies. So what have some builders been doing in and around social media and what's been working? So again, I am going to use Ask Rhoda as an example. We did a Facebook campaign around this. It was a 4-week pretty heavy investment. So what I've got up there are the results of the Ask Rota down one side, and then another Facebook campaign that we've done for the Rota Boys about 6 months ago. So when we look at our newsletter sign-ups, we got 32 from the Ask Rota versus an average of 10. Additional Facebook likes wasn't as high, but I think that is just... I think Facebook is just becoming a little bit harder to get that person across the line to like you now. You've really got to be stepping up the content. Ad impressions, huge. 120,000 people saw our ads. Much better click-through because we've got much more sophisticated content coming through. 6,500 views of that video. And 85 cents cost per click. So, you'd be struggling to find any other media platform that allows you such a cost-effective way to reach a lead at 85 cents. And when we look at inquiries, I think the inquiries per month were around the 25 mark. Again, I'm not saying that's all from the video, but it certainly drove, I think, a lot of that result. Another example I want to share is on Instagram. So Clinge Constructions is doing Instagram really well, and I think it's because they've had the opportunity to be involved in Australia by Design and also Love It or List It, which is a Foxtel program. But you can use the same concept across whatever you guys are doing. It's all about tagging the partners in your posts. So what happens is, if we're on the Love It or List It program, we put up a photo and we tag in interior styling was done by this person, the taps were provided by this person, and you tag all of your partners into that post. So if someone shares it, you're getting the reach for everybody across Instagram. And this is what has driven this significant growth of the followers for Clinge. So we're up to, I think it was 1,500 followers just in a few months. It was all around the correct use of tagging and also the hashtagging. So there was a number of hashtags that the show encouraged us to use. So we ensured that every time we're posting about the show, we're using those hashtags, so we're reaching that entire audience. And we also got some really good coverage for Daniel on Domain.com. So we then leveraged social media is about leveraging your online and offline marketing. So if you've got some really good PR offline in newspapers, radio, whatever it is, make sure you're then sharing that to your social audience as well, and kind of cross-platform sharing. So the next trend I see is around influencers. So influencer marketing is that kind of grey area between an official testimonial and a really subtle product mention, which is quite casual and in passing and a bit of an endorsement. An interesting fact that I found out is that 47% of online consumers use ad blockers. So giving brands and businesses even more reason to really put their dollars behind influencers, as well as your traditional ads. And what's so good about it? So you can align your brand with the right influencer, then it can be pretty low risk. It can be pretty low cost or even free if it's someone that you currently do business with. It creates really positive brand associations. It makes you seem credible. It also increases your reach to the audience of your influencer. I'll give you an example so this makes a bit more sense. But it's a great way to build your brand and target the exact type of consumer that you want to reach. So there's a few ways of going about influencer marketing. So the first is guest blogging, which is probably the most accessible for you guys. So I'll take you through an example of what we did with the Cullen Building Group on that. Identify social media influencers that your target are following. So you do need to do a little bit of research around who do your people look to for information, and just send them a direct message on Instagram and ask if they want to collaborate with you. A lot of things come around just by reaching out. If you're lucky enough to know a celebrity, that is always a really good way to get influencer marketing, and also creating a video with you and your influencer and then pushing that out to your audiences and theirs. So to make it work, it's really important to take the time to choose the right influencer, because obviously it can go very, very wrong because they could be very brand damaging if you don't choose the right person. So you want someone with a high number of followers and engagement. So on Instagram, you can buy followers. They're obviously fake, and so you don't really want to align yourself with a brand if they might have 10,000, 20,000 followers, but what engagement are they getting? How many likes are they getting on their photos? Like, that's the type of stuff you want to be looking at. If they're getting 34 likes and they've got 20,000 followers, massive issue there. Understand your target market and who they follow. Work out what type of campaign you want to do. Is it educational? Is it entertaining? And choose the right influencer for the tone of voice you want. Use minimal branding. You don't want it to look salesy. And use it in a casual kind of conversational tone. So it's not a sales pitch. So from a marketing point of view, it's always good to share whatever influencer marketing you've got through your website, obviously through your social media channels. If there is a celebrity involved, you can potentially push it out to PR and media. And if you're guest blogging, obviously host it on your blog page. So this is the first example I wanted to show you with Cullen Building Group. We did a guest blog collaboration with their interior designer. So I'm sure this is something that a lot of you could probably do. Interior designers and architects tend to have a lot of followers on social media. So it's a really easy way to get that quick audience reach. So we just showcased our latest project, which was a Glen Iris project, and we did an educational-based marketing via a blog post around what to consider when you're choosing a kitchen bench. So the blog post features all of our beautiful images from our latest project, but offering some really educational information for our audience. So we pushed this through the website, social media on both. We boosted it on Instagram, we put it in the newsletter, and I pushed it out to the online influencers. So we got 417 shares, which you can see there, and we had 1,500 views of the blog post, which is a huge amount of views. It was our first blog post that we've ever done, and it went really, really well. So, and that was the highest clicked piece of content in the newsletter as well, which is similar to what I'm seeing with Rhoda. So I know it's working. Another really good example is doing a blog post via video. So the Rosen Bros had a display home in Canberra, and they partnered with the interior designer to put that display home together. The display home video was about 5 minutes long. It's now no longer there. It's been sold, but we're kind of repurposing this content. We've chopped it up into 5 1-minute videos, and it's all giving tips on why the interior designer chose certain styles within the home. We didn't put any boosting funds behind this. We got 1.2 thousand video views of the Behind the Design series. So that was just the first video, and we've done one a month across 5 months. So people are wanting to see the kind of next episode in the Behind the Design series. My last trend is the rise of SEO. So as much as we've talked about social media, Google is still king, and getting your website visible in the search engines really is an essential part of any digital marketing strategy that you should have. So what is SEO? So SEO is search engine optimization. It's the process of moving your website up onto page 1 in Google for certain terms that people are searching to find a local builder in your area. So Google processes over 40,000 queries every second. It is generally responsible for the highest traffic to your website. So if you've invested a significant amount in having a really beautiful website with lots of content on it, how are you then driving people to that website? So SEO is a really good way of doing that. It's also extremely technical. So this graph shows you the Google algorithm, and it's never 100% accurate, but these are all the types of things that Google ranks, and there are different weightings on how to rank your website onto page 1. So it's really hard to do yourself. It's a good idea if you're at that level, it's a good idea to engage an agency to help with SEO. It can be a significant investment and commitment, so it is a long-term strategy. It takes probably 3 to 6 months to start seeing a return, but then once you've built the foundation, you just keep building, and I'll show you some results that we've seen with Rhoda. But I wanted to give you a few tips around what you can do. If you're not at the stage where you can invest heavily into SEO, there are things that you can do yourself. One is, these are the things that Google tell you to do. So one is choose the most obvious domain name, or purchase other relevant domain names and redirect them to you. So you might be called Rotor Developments, but we want to target multi-unit builders Melbourne. So go and buy that domain name. That is the strongest keyword you can have, is a domain name, and redirect it to your own. So that's a simple way of doing that. You don't want to go and buy 50 of them, but, be sensible about it. Second is design a mobile responsive website. So Google's been telling us for years now that they are prioritising mobile responsive websites over not. So if you're not at that point yet, really that needs to be your first point of call. Thirdly, you can do your own keyword research. So Google's got heaps of free tools. Keyword Planner is one of them. And you can actually write in what you'd search about local builders Preston or whatever you think it is and see how many people are searching that term. So you can come up with a list of terms that you think people are searching, and then you can start adding them to your website yourself or doing a blog post around them, sharing them on social media. Another thing Google look at is how many links are coming into your website. So that says to them how much authority do you have in your market. So you can just do really simple things like going to add your business to online directories. It's like Yellow Pages, Yelp, anything, House. And if it points back to your website, that'll give a tick to Google. Be active on social media, so how engaged people are and how many likes and comments does ping back to your website, and Google takes that into account. And Google has a tool, Google Analytics, which should definitely be connected to all of your websites because that's how you track and measure. So we do a monthly report where we look at all the marketing activity that we've done. We dive into Google Analytics and see what has that marketing activity actually delivered on the website. Are people coming through from social media? What blog posts are they clicking on? Is it stuff that we're telling them to click on? And so this is just a case study. So Rhoda, I've been working with for 18 months, so we have been investing into SEO for 18 months. So this is a really good example of a long-term successful SEO strategy. This graph shows it's the last 4 quarters, so it's the last 12 months, and that's how much traffic is coming to our website via organic search, so via SEO. The last quarter, so organic traffic's grown by 72%. Before we started with the guys, I think they were getting about 15% of their traffic was coming from organic, and now it's 41% of their web traffic comes from organic search. We track the inquiries every month and we say, how did you hear about us? And 52% of them this year have come from Google. So it's a huge lead generator for these guys, and probably the key marketing tool that we use to drive leads. And then 84, so another thing we track is how many people sign up to our database. And so 84% of people that put in their details have come to our website via an organic search. So it's certainly doing all the right things there. That is the end of my presentation. So this is just a quick summary around what I've talked through today. The first one is education-based marketing. It's a really good way to build knowledge and credibility early in the sales process. Social media is changing, so stay ahead of the game, look at blog posts, look at video, look at investment. Influencers are a really great way to build your brand and reach, and quite cost effective. So if your marketing budget isn't huge, influencers could be a really good way to go. And SEO is, I believe, an essential part of any serious digital marketing strategy, and should be something that you should consider. Thank you.